What is up, everybody? I hope you're all doing well. Today we are checking out the Keeley Electronics Super Rodent. Now, this pedal comes from a series of 4 pedals. The idea behind this series of pedals, according to Keeley Electronics, is to combine 2 legendary circuits in each pedal, but not only allow you to choose between those circuits, but also hybrid between those circuits. So I've demoed the Blues Disorder, and I've demoed the Noble Screamer, and now we're focusing on the Super Rodent. And I'm sure you've probably surmised by the title that at least one of the circuits on the pedal is a rat circuit, and it indeed is. The other circuit is based on the popular SD1 circuit. That's a really cool circuit. I leaned into that circuit in the performance for the rhythm tones, and then I kind of went other directions for the solo tones. So as I mentioned, this pedal has 2 circuits: the SD circuit and the RT circuit, Rat SD1. You can switch between the 2, which is great. But what makes it really cool is being able to hybrid between the 2 circuits. So you can pick the tone circuit on one side and the clipping circuit on the other. So you may want a rat with the SD circuit, or vice versa. And that's what makes these pedals really cool and versatile. So let's get right into what's on the top of this thing. You've got a tone, level, and drive control. We all know what those do. We'll get into that in the demo. You've got 2 toggle switches. On the left side, that's your tone toggle switch. Allows you to choose between 2 different tones. So in the SD, that's going to be the more kind of active SD1 tone circuit. If you throw it down to the RT, that's going to be more of that filter circuit that you hear in the Rat pedal. On the right side, it's going to allow you to choose between 2 clipping circuits. So up is going to be the SD circuit, which is a little more kind of a soft clip. In the down position, the RT position, that's going to be more of a hard clip that's going to be typical of a Rat pedal. And then, as I mentioned, what's so cool is you can toggle between those. And we'll definitely get into that in the demo. You have a soft foot switch, which is really cool, and you can choose between buffered or true. It ships standard in buffered, but if you hold the switch down for a couple seconds, it'll switch to true bypass if that's how you want to run the pedal. So let's check out the Keeley Electronics Super Rodent. All right, let's check out the Super Rodent. Here's just the guitar into the amp, so we know where we're starting. And here is the Super Rodent. Yikes. Okay, so there's a little bit of a rundown. What's going on? I started in that SD1 kind of setting and then bumped down to the RT, which is, essentially a rat setting, and then toggled between the two. And that's where the differences were just killer, because I could just throw a switch and have pretty much a completely different tonality without reaching for any other controls. Let's start in the SD setting, tone and clipping, and then got the burps, and then we'll switch to the rat. I'm just going to sweep the drive first. So as I mentioned, SD setting. About midway up. All the way up. Okay, I'll tune while I'm talking. Pretty good drive range. I think it's typical of that circuit. It sounds really good to me. What I do like is that it does back off nicely with the guitar, as I showed in all of that noodling at the top there, but also what I just did, it does back off nicely. So I dig that. So that's the drive range. Let's sweep the tone control so you can hear what's going on there. Back to noon. I'll turn it all the way up. So a pretty good sweep. It is pretty broad. It can definitely get strident when it's all the way up, but it's nice to have it go that dark. It just depends on what you want to hear. Do you want to hear more fluid sounds that are more violin-y? Do you want it to be a little bit more sharp in the top end? Or also, do you just have a really bright guitar? You got a bright Telly or Strat or something, you can tame that. Or if you maybe have a darker, like Les Paul, whatever, you can dial that in. So that's what's going on between the two controls in that setting. Now I'm going to go ahead and go down or switch down to the RT setting, and we'll do the same thing. Let's check out the drive first, and then I'll go through the tone control. Now this clipping circuit is a little bit quieter, or I should say the overall tone stack is a little bit quieter, so I turn the level up. Okay, so drive off. Not a lot of circuit there, and that's not typically what you would do with a rat style circuit, but there's a drive off. So obviously a ton of gain there. If you, at least from what I can hear, and let me know what you guys think, but once you get above about noon with the drive, as you start getting towards like 1 and 2 o'clock, you hear a lot more bass roll in, which is fairly typical of that circuit. And it goes all the way from distortion really into more kind of fuzz territory. So that's what that's doing. I'm going to leave it about right there, and let's sweep the tone control, because now we're in a different control. This is more of the filter that you would hear on a typical Rat. I wanted to play some single notes there, as well as the kind of chuggy, open 5 chords, just so you could hear that. In my mind, I wouldn't normally use a Rat circuit for rhythm. I would lean into that more for solos. So that's what's going on there with the tone control and how that works. Let's start throwing switches. Let me go back to the SD setting. I'm going to leave it in the softer clipping of the SD, and then I'm going to throw down from the more active SD tone circuit to the RT filter circuit. Immediately, maybe a little bit less of the upper, but a little bit more low mids and lows for sure when I throw that switch down. Now let's go the other way. I'm going to leave that tone where it is, but I'm going to throw... Actually, now let's just actually go to the RT circuit, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just throw this tone control. So filter to the more active SD. Way more low end would be cool for, like, once again, kind of almost like a big muff, but also for soloing, it's just super fat, and especially if you're into legato and things like that. And you still can roll that tone control, but I'm just trying to show you the stark difference that can come from just throwing the tone switch against the clipping mode that you're in. So SD, now we're back to the RT. And then we can go the other way. We'll stay in the RT mode, but throw back up to, we'll keep the RT, God man, we'll keep the RT mode where it is. I'm going to throw the clipping mode back up to the SD. Then if we go the other way, RT, SD on this side. to change that straight. It's arguing with me today. So hopefully you guys get what's going on with this. It's a really versatile pedal. Just throwing those switches alone are pretty much gonna give you a bunch of different tonal variations. It's those hybrid settings that are really cool. I lean into the hybrid settings more for soloing. I tend to lean into the SD settings straight for rhythm passes, but that's to each his or her own. But yeah, that is the Keeley Electronics Super Rodent. As always, I really appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you on the next one.